Hey guys, it's me, Baseball Peter, or Peter Plays, whatever you want to call me. So today I am here with an upload. Today we are going to be reacting to a video made by the game theorist, or Game 3, or as most people call him, MattPat. A couple of days ago he uploaded a video. Here it is. Game Theory Fnaf Golden Freddy never existed. So if you don't know anything about Fnaf lore or what it is, go search it up, know everything, and then watch this. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, let's just get right into this.
Are you scared of him?
Bruh, why do I need ads? Wait, I know how to do this. This is how you skip ads.
What if I told you that everything we thought we knew about FNAF was a lie? That Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy were never possessed? That the bite of 87 never happened? Heck, that the
What?
bite of 83 never happened?
I'm just fixing the
what
camera
if I
now,
told you
but
that William Afton didn't die because some spirits harassed him in a back room, but because he got careless and wet? What if I told you that Golden Freddy never existed? You would all think that I was crazy, right? That after
Yes.
60 episodes covering the series that I'd finally lost it, or gotten so desperate that I needed you to throw it all away and start again for content. But I assure you, I'm still here, totally sane, or I guess as sane as I've ever been, and totally suspecting that some, maybe even all of the
What?
statements that I just made are 100% true.
What? Okay, meanwhile, the screen is going to be weird right now since I am trying to fix the camera, but... What? Okay, I fixed it. How's that? Is he going back to the dream theory that FNAF was all a dream or something?
So open your ears and listen to what I have to say, because once I'm done, none of us will look at this franchise the same way again.
Yeah.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Game Theory, where... Am I the only one that hears that weird humming sound? I think it's coming from the subscribe button. Can you help me smash it?
Yeah,
Oh,
subscribe
thank
to
goodness,
me.
That was driving me
MattPat.
insane. Huh, what's this small disc that fell out? Yep, probably not important. Today is a big day as far as FNAF theory goes. Usually I'm here picking apart details from the newest book, or trying to solve one very specific part of the franchise's history, or reminding you that robot kids do in fact exist and Gregory is one of them. But this episode has a wider scope.
It
It's
seems
bigger.
like he
It touches
is.
literally
It seems like he is.
everything released in the franchise thus far. I don't know if I agree with today's theory or not. I don't even know if I like today's theory or not. Scratch that, I do know. Kinda hate it and what it means for the franchise. But regardless of whether you agree or disagree, love it or hate it, I am asking you to keep an open mind about it, because this
Okay.
one feels important. And the implications of it, if true, would certainly result in the biggest shakeup for the series since the conclusion of FNAF 6.
Oh yeah, FNAF 6 was... I beat the game fully. It was good. It's a good game, but... How could... No, I'm just gonna continue watching this. I don't
I'm
understand.
asking you to
Explain,
take
MattPat.
everything that you thought you knew
Explain.
about FNAF 1, 2, 3, and 4. Possessed animatronics, the crying child, the missing children's
Yeah.
incident, the entire existence of Golden Freddy.
Yeah.
Take all of that and burn it to the ground. Maybe not burn it. We've seen that tends not to work. Take it all and put it through a paper shredder or something.
I don't
will
think
ya?
that'll
Because
work
none
as
of it
well.
matters. None of it. It's all wrong. Or maybe it isn't. But before I explain why, I have to tell you that brand new holiday theory
Okay.
wear is
Time to
available
tell
right
Bubba.
now. You just think.
What do you
They
say?
also-
Oh yeah, he has jackets. Now he's showing another jacket. Okay, MattPat.
Favorite fresh lore.
Develop.
Oh wait, no, that's a little too far.
Green. When you
Maybe I'll buy something.
introducing a new
Okay, there you go.
Freddy's Help Wanted, otherwise known as FNAF VR. Running back in 2019. But quick, before I decide to retcon
Cool.
it all out of existence. Speaking of retconning, back in 2019, we got the release of Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, otherwise known as FNAF VR. A game that, to this day, ranks as my third favorite from the franchise. On one hand, it was looking forward to the next phase of the series by introducing a new villain, Glitch
I'm
Trap.
planning on getting a VR headset sometime, so maybe I'll figure out a way to show me playing the game. Maybe, I don't know. Only time will tell.
also had its feet firmly planted in the past, a culmination of everything that had come before in a very literal way by collecting the first 3 games and turning them into VR experiences. It really felt like an inflection point for the series, a transition from the old story of a serial killer in a haunted pizzeria to the new stories it had yet to tell about the killer living on through technology. But buried in the game were some lines that made everyone stop and go, huh? Right at the top, we got this moment.
We know that Fazbear Entertainment has developed something of a bad reputation, and while it's true that some stories associated with our name were loosely based on actual events, the majority of them were total fabrications from the mind of a complete lunatic. Lawsuits pending.
With the lunatic shown on screen,
Scott is not a lunatic.
of course, a picture of Scott Cawthon himself. It felt like good meme fodder, a funny
Just so
meta
you know,
joke
he's the
that also
creator
poked
of
fun
the
at
game, if you
Fazbear
did not
Entertainment
know.
papering over their bloody history. But then the game chose to double down. In one of the game's hidden lore tapes, we learned more about this lunatic spreading lies about
that's
the
VR.
Fazbear restaurants.
They lied to all of us. They told us that the whole point of this VR game was to undo the bad PR done by a rogue indie game developer. But that's not true at all. Fazbear Entertainment hired the game developer. Those indie games were designed to conceal and make light of what happened. It's an elaborate cover-up.
It was weird. It seemed like Fnaf VR was actively throwing into question everything we thought we knew about the franchise's lore.
Okay,
At
I
the time,
really
I
need
went
to
on the
play the
record to
game.
say this. If Fnaf VR's tapes are to be believed,
This
pretty
is
much
one of his old
everything we
videos.
know could all be thrown
I have
out as
watched
complete fabrications. The long story short here is that Fnaf VR, in making Scott part of the Fazbear cover-up, is the franchise's way of rebooting the story. It's explicitly telling us that everything we've known up to this point is wrong. It's a distraction. And that's largely where the community left it. It was a bit of a weird call for the series to disregard everything that had come before, but honestly, it would have been fine. Here's the old original story arc with the first 6 games, and here's the new one moving forward. 2 separate story arcs told within the same universe.
That could be
Fine.
true.
Until Security Breach came out. Suddenly, Springtrap was a key player again,
Yeah,
and
he's
we were
back.
exploring the burned remains of the
Burn
FNAF
Trap.
6 location. And the idea of the first 6 games being the crazed ramblings of a hired lunatic were largely forgotten as we were thrust yet again back into the story of the Aftons.
Oh, God.
Business
Security
as
breach.
usual, only this time there was Music Man.
Music Man. MattPat's favorite thing of all times. Okay.
Business as usual, only this
Music
time
Man.
there was Music Man.
Okay.
So that was pretty much the status quo for the past year. But then, in late September, the unthinkable happened.
2 months
we
ago.
got another book. I know, I said the B word. I'm sorry, but stick
There's many B words, but that's the worst one of all. That word. Oh my god.
me, this one's different. You see, this one delivers on the hope that we've had for the books from the very beginning, that they would take small
He said
moments
it
from
again.
the games and expand upon them to bring more clarity. Care to guess what moment from the games they chose to expand upon? The story of a rogue indie developer hired by Fazbear Entertainment to create a series of games covering up the company's shady past. And if there was any lingering doubt as to how this story fit into the games, the title was none other than Help Wanted. I'm about to summarize what exactly happens in the story, but the
Interesting.
TLDR of it is exactly what we predicted back in 2019, that everything you thought you knew about the franchise is dead, just not exactly in the way that we thought, and it suddenly changes everything about how we should be approaching this franchise moving forward.
Okay,
in the
how?
story, we follow a character named
What's the
Steve,
story?
an indie game developer stuck in a dead-end
what's his
job.
name?
Forward. In the story, we follow a character named
Steve Snodgrass. Great
an
name.
indie game developer stuck in a dead-end job while working on a, quote, fetch quest-based game featuring cartoony chipmunks. Now, what could that be a reference to, Scott?
Chippers,
Just like we hear about in
the
FNAF
Lumberco
VR, Steve is
Chippers
contacted
thing.
by Fazbear Entertainment to create a series of games in order to help
I haven't read the
rebrand the
book.
company.
Maybe
At
I'll
first,
buy
he
it.
turns down the offer. Not the company to take no for an answer, Fazbear then sets up an elaborate plot where they catfish Steve into a date with the woman of his dreams. During the date, he passes out.
Wait, I'm gonna guess something. Since FNAF is robots, is she a robot? Is he about to get trapped in FNAF and then like he's gonna make the games or something? I don't know. But I'm saying if she's a robot, I know my FNAF lore.
Wake up and find that suddenly he's married to the woman and suffering from severe memory loss. This happens a few more times, waking up to discover that he now has children, or that the house he lives in is being foreclosed. Suddenly, in desperate need of money, he contacts Fazbear Entertainment and starts making
Yeah,
games for
to
him.
get
4
money,
games,
so
to
he's
be
gonna
specific.
make the
All the while, a
games.
constant ringing is happening in his ears. Bit by bit, he becomes more sleep-deprived and paranoid, which then feeds into his games. At night, he's haunted by night terrors, horrific monsters that keep popping out of the
Like the
walls, which
Nightmare
only
animatronics?
pushes
or
him to work
something?
harder. And throughout it all, the
Fnaf
ringing
4?
continues to build, rotting his brain. Eventually, Steve discovers what's going on. The high-pitched sound that he keeps
What
hearing
is
has
it?
been creating illusions used to gaslight him. His house, just a series.
Oh, so it's like it's a sound thing. So the more he hears it, the more illusion he will get, and that's how he created the games, I guess, in the book.
Like rooms, the
Oh my
night
God, I said
terrors,
the word, I'm so
amusement
sorry.
park jump scares coming out of the walls. His beautiful family, robots with plastic
I knew it. I literally just said like a minute or two ago.
faces and wheels. Their physical description actually sounds a lot like the staff bots. Steve is then given a choice of going back to the miserable real world or
staying
returning
with
to the
them?
happiness that he felt inside the illusion. He chooses the illusion, giving his robot wife a hug, who then stabs him to death.
And he's
Also,
dead.
there's a DJ on the radio called DJ Dan, the Music Man.
Oh my God, he's gonna say it again at some point in the video.
Him to death. Also, there's a
Music
DJ on the
Man.
radio called DJ Dan, the Music Man.
Man.
It's not important to the lore, it's just for the memes. It is a super sad story. It's also in no way a tale from the Pizzaplex, considering the place isn't mentioned once. But more than anything else, it's a story that confirms some of our greatest fears about the franchise.
What
First
is
and
it?
foremost, illusion discs are
Wait, what was he
now
saying?
officially a thing in the
In the game and lore and stuff. Wait! So if what he's saying is true, does that mean that all the games or all the FNAF lore and everything that happened about of 87, 83, like everything is just from this guy's game? If the book is canon, that is. So are there all the games fake and there couldn't, maybe there wasn't even a Springtrap or something? Was it all fake?
If you don't know what illusion discs are, then good for you. You clearly avoided reading the novels. I, however, not so lucky. Basically, these
I read
things use
it.
high-pitched
I
noises
read
to
2
trick
of
the human
them.
mind into creating
didn't
intensely
get the
real
3rd one.
illusions of things that aren't really there. A robot appears exactly like a human. A pizzeria is more decorated than it
Gregory.
actually is. Characters turn practically invisible on camera. These are all ways that they've been used in the books, but up until this point, we've never had a reason to believe that they were in the game universe.
Wait, so FNAF 5, 6, and everything after that, what are they?
The only time that I've suspected that they might be a thing in the games is this scene from Sister Location, when we remove
I
a
played
random
Sister
flashing
Location.
disc from Funtime Freddy's chest. It was just
Wait.
speculation at the time, but now, going back, listen to that
Is that
scene.
it?
The chest cavity should now be open. Remove the power module from
Oh, you can hear a ringing if you listen very loudly. Okay, audio warning, this is going to be very loud, but tell me if you can hear it.
To that scene.
Audio
the
warning.
chest cavity should now be open.
Listen.
Remove the power module from the chest cavity. Great work.
Do you hear that? It's like a very quiet ringing.
Hear it? The
Okay, we're going to turn it back now, but there's like quiet ringing.
buzzing. That humming is only present in scenes where we're directly interacting with an animatronic in close proximity. Just saying, there might have been more evidence to suggest that these things were actually in the games earlier than we thought. But hindsight's 2020. With this new story, we know it's valid technology. And that has huge implications for things that we see throughout Security Breach. Like when we hear high-pitched ringing and have distorted vision anytime Vanny runs past us.
Because they... Oh, wait.
Why Glamrock Freddy
Oh,
apparently...
wait. Wait, how did Roxy's eyes? How does she... Wait, does she see? Whatever. That means, like, they have the illusion... they have a illusion blocker, maybe? So they can't see her or so? I don't know. But Vanny's real. She's Vanessa. Okay. I am confused. MattPat, please teach me.
Can't see Vanny until he gets Roxy's eyes. It's all much more likely now because she's using illusion discs. It may also play into the mystery of who Patient 46 is. In
Gregory?
Retro CD number
I
15,
don't
we
know.
hear this clip.
I have this still shot the text pulled from the security footage that recorded you in the Pizzaplex.
Okay.
That's you, isn't it? I know this image is distorted, but I think it looks like you. You're talking to someone or something. They almost look like rabbit ears.
One of the consistent
Eh?
features
But this...
of the illusion discs is that they distort or blur any images that appear on
Yeah.
camera. We see this all throughout the fourth closet. So the fact that the still image and the distortion
Well,
are
don't show
directly
it.
being called out here in the CDs indicate that Patient 46 may also be hiding behind an illusion disc. Who knows? If my guess was right and Gregory is meant to be Patient 46, that could be why he's appearing all blurry here in the camera shots from the deal.
Oh, yeah. Only a couple of them show correctly. Like right here, here. I'm pretty sure that's Freddy. Oh, that's also Gregory. And here, he's blurred. Maybe there's a reason for that?
Admittedly, that opens up its own can of worms and contradictions that would merit their own discussion. Like, why would he be clear in all these other pictures? I'm just tossing it out as something for us to chew on. Much more importantly, though, the Help Wanted story confirms that FNAF 1, 2, 3, and 4 are canonically video games within Freddy's fictional
They are video games. But in the lore, are they?
universe. They were created by a hired gun. A hired gun who, in the story, is confirmed to not be familiar with the events that happened at Freddy's.
Wait, I'm about to read his mind. Wait. So, if he doesn't know, so probably all the stuff that happened in the games are kind of true, but it's created by him as well from the illusions. So it's in his own thing. So maybe there wasn't a Springtime. Maybe there wasn't a Golden Freddy. Let's see if I'm correct. Because if there isn't, that changes my whole perspective on FNAF.
Story. It took a few seconds for the name Fazbear to ring a bell, but then Steve remembered the kids' pizza places that once had been wildly popular, but had suffered a downfall after a variety of criminal allegations.
Yeah.
There had been talk of murders, though Steve didn't remember how many. There was weirder stuff too, stories about paranormal events and that kind of nonsense. Steve doesn't actually know the stories and events that took place. He doesn't remember how many kids died. He doesn't believe in paranormal activity. He is an unreliable
he doesn't
narrator,
know.
which therefore
He's just adding on to the story or creating his own version of it.
puts everything in those first 4 games into question. He knew rumors of paranormal activity, so he created possessed animatronics. He knew about murders,
What if there
so he
wasn't
put
a
in
fox?
minigames
What if there
depicting
wasn't
kids
a
being
Chico?
murdered. As for the facts, though, he cannot be trusted. And the story tries to make it crystal clear that FNAF 4 was largely of his own creation, born out of the torture that Fazbear was subjecting him to. As his hallucinations get more nightmarish, Steve starts seeing monsters literally appear out of the walls. One of them is described as follows, quote, "It was the head of something. It was small but bulbous and vain. Its large eyes almond-shaped with cat-like pupils. It lunged forward from the hole in the wall and parted its jaws to reveal a mouthful of sharp-looking teeth. Its pointed tongue darted out like
Wait,
a
what?
snake's when it sniffed the air." This moment isn't just to show us Steve's torture, it's to
Wait.
show us the influence that it has on the games that he's making. Look at the description. Does it remind you of anything? A character with cat-like eyes, a long pointed tongue, sharp teeth, who likes to pop out unexpectedly. It's
Foxy! Because in one of the teaser images, he has a long tongue, like, distorted. Wait, so what if the nightmare animatronics are actually even real? What if they were never a thing?
Nightmare Foxy from FNAF 4. Look at this picture from the teasers leading up into the game, especially the long pointed tongue. Who else pops out from the closet, from under the bed, from behind a TV in that game? Foxy. The book is spelling out for us why that game is so different, why it's no longer a game about Fazbear Pizzeria. The torture became so
Oh
much that the
my
story had
God,
shifted
this
from
makes
being
a
a
lot of
Fazbear
sense.
story to being a Steve story. 4 games, 1 story. It's the clue that Scott gave us a long time ago during a live stream after the release of FNAF 4. At first, I suspected the
Taco.
line was all about dream theory, that all of it was happening in the nightmares of a
Yeah,
child.
that's what I
But
said at the
think that
beginning
one
of the
was
video, I'm pretty
Then
sure.
it shifted to the 4 games being about one family, the Aftons, as their kids grappled with the sins of their father. And I think that was also right. But now it's changed
Wait,
once
is
again.
Afton
It's
family
now
even
4
real
games
now?
about one new story, Steve's story. The story of a game designer that was being gaslit by an evil robotics company. You know, I gotta hand it to Scott. It's actually impressive how many times he's been able to make that single phrase describe the same set of 4 games. It also means that Scott gets to have his cake and eat it too. He gets to make those first 4 games the equivalent of dream theory without it actually being a dream. Oh, was the puppet referred to as a he in FNAF 2? Steve didn't know. Were there 5 victims? 10? 15 in that first set of pizzerias?
doesn't
Don't
know.
Steve's just making his best guess. But most importantly of all, it means that anything that doesn't physically appear in or after Sister Location and beyond is suddenly cast into doubt. And when you think about it, that includes some major parts of the lore.
Oh
For
my
instance, we know that Michael
God.
Afton is in fact a security guard
Yeah.
for Fazbear Entertainment at some point thanks to the security
I'm pretty sure.
logbook. Plus, with Sister Location in FNAF 6, we know that he ends up getting scooped and dying in a fire. Sister Location also proves the existence of Elizabeth Afton and how she got scooped by Baby. But the third Afton kid, Crying Child, he's never been mentioned in any other game other than FNAF 4. I've made theories suggesting that he's the other spirit communicating with Cassidy in the survival logbook, but
Some
you know,
people
that's-
think his name is Chris or Evan or something. Some people conspiracize that. I don't know.
spe-
Said MattPat.
because I
This is a
assumed
lot
that he
of info.
existed. In FNAF 6's Midnight Motorist, there's reason to believe that he's the one who broke out of the house, considering that Mike in the chair says he's had a hard night, but again, that is pretty weak evidence. Honestly, the closest we get to having physical evidence of his existence is in
Wait, what? Wait, I thought that was like maybe a wife or something telling like the yellow guy or William or something not to bother this child because he's having a rough day, or that's him telling not to bother him.
Weak evidence. Honestly, the closest
just
we
heard
get to having
Mario.
physical evidence of his existence is in Security Breach's post-it room, where there's a dinner scene made up of 5...
Let me guess. Yeah, that's whole family. Wait. In the crying child, I'm pretty sure this doesn't have a head because the bite of 87 or 3. I already forgot.
staff bots that appear to be simulating the Afton family, and one of those 5 is
But of
missing its head, which
83?
we've assumed represents the crying child getting chomped. But all of that evidence only stands because the crying child was thought to exist thanks to the first 4 games. Maybe that's why we've never actually
What if-
gotten a name for him, because he
what
was
if he
never
never
meant to
existed?
exist
What
in
if
the first
Afton
place.
never
So Scott
existed?
purposefully hid the name in order to allow the 5th Afton child's identity to remain anonymous, ready for a big plot twist when it turns out that he has another child, maybe a daughter, maybe called Vanessa. It's speculative as all heck.
It can now be true, technically. Anything can be true, cause
it out there as a consideration. Henry and Charlie are definitely in this universe. We see Charlie's death and possession of the puppet thanks to the minigames in FNAF 6, so
Yeah.
that's all confirmed. But the missing children's incident where 5 kids were murdered at the FNAF 1 location? Unclear. It's likely that it happened,
It could
considering
be
that in
real,
FNAF
but
6's
it also
lore
could
keeper
be a
ending, we
whole
see
big
5
lie.
gravestones with one on a hill, the 5 missing children's incident victims plus Charlie, the 6 victims of William Afton. It's the same thing with Princess Quest. To move forward in the Princess Quest
This
minigame,
is
you have to light 6
security breach, a
gravestones. So
minigame.
it seems like those 5 murders happened, but then what about the extra 5 dead bodies that we see appearing throughout the FNAF 2 pizzeria? What about hearing that the pizzeria is getting closed down in the tapes? Even less clear. FNAF VR's main ending proves that William Afton is still the main killer in this universe and that he definitely stuffed kids into the animatronics. However, whether those kids go on to possess the animatronics is up for debate. Without the first 4 games being officially canon, we don't really have any evidence for their possession. But perhaps the biggest ripple effect of them all, this new
Golden
understanding
Freddy,
of the canonicity...
like the title. Right here. The title.
heavily suggests that Golden Freddy may never
Cassidy.
have existed. That's right, my favorite clickbait yellow boy may not actually be a thing in this franchise at
Guys,
all.
you're about to see maybe a scary face. Probably, because Golden Freddy is Cassidy. Probably. So get ready. Spooky
Consider this,
face.
Golden Freddy, while seemingly this super important piece of the lore to the franchise, hasn't shown up in a major way in any recent titles. He's only ever shown up in titles with questionable canonicity, like FNAF World, which is definitely not canon, Custom
Yeah.
Night, which is Afton's
Like,
personal hell, and FNAF
yeah,
AR, which
and they
isn't
are.
really canon.
It's not-
If you think it is, then both Shamrock Freddy and Chocolate Bonnie are canon.
Yeah, Shamrock Freddy's official.
Refuse to live in a world where that could possibly be true. But in the main games, nothing. In Sister Location, his name is used in a Custom Night challenge. In FNAF 6, completely absent. And in Security Breach, sure, there's a golden Glamrock Freddy that you can
But
collect,
there's
but there's
a
a golden
golden plush
toy of
for
every
everybody.
character that you can collect. In fact, I think Security Breach was outright trying to tell us that Golden Freddy has never been a thing. Of the dozens of collectibles that you
Nothing
can
is
find throughout the
related
game,
to him.
plushies, figurines, keychains, sweaters, 4 of them actually seemed important.
Oh,
3
never
posters
mind.
from Fredbear's Family Diner, and an even older one from Fredbear's Singin' Show. The Singin' Show is, I don't know, man, it makes it look like the next game is going to be a crossover with Bendy and the Ink Machine. But the Fredbear's Family Diner ones are the ones that I want to focus on now. Look at these things. One of them has the golden Bonnie with a purple bow tie, just like you'd expect. But the other 2 show us a brown bear with a black hat and a black bow tie. And you see, that is a huge detail. Up until this point, we've been under the impression that there were only 2 mascots at Fredbear's Family Diner, Golden Bonnie and Golden Freddy.
Spring
In
Bonnie,
FNAF
but
3, we
okay.
see a Golden Bonnie and Golden Freddy performing together on stage. Similarly, in FNAF 4, we thing that we've been talking about
Okay.
today. Our evidence for Golden Freddy is all founded upon the original 4 FNAF titles.
So he could not be real. Oh, right there. That's Cassidy. Most likely.
It was never real.
Sorry,
He
I
never
skipped.
existed. I know, it seems wild, but it actually helps answer a lot of questions that we've had about Golden Freddy throughout this franchise. First off, his wildly inconsistent appearance. In both FNAF 1 and 2, he appears gold with a black hat and bow tie. But in the FNAF 2 minigame showing Charlie being killed outside Fredbear's Family Diner, the Freddy we play as is brown with a black hat.
Yeah.
More similar to the Fredbear that we see in the posters
like the
for
Freddy we
Security
always
Breach.
see.
In the FNAF 3 minigame that apparently shows us Fredbear's Family Diner, he goes back to being gold tie. His appearance has
Yeah, his appearance is
extreme
all
duress.
different.
If Golden Freddy in a gravestone for crying child after all? If Golden Freddy
Right
doesn't
here.
exist, then where does Cassidy's soul reside?
So scary.
Well, again, we still don't have any proof that the original missing children
They're
actually
even a
possessed any
thing.
animatronics.
Well, they
All their
probably are,
souls
but
may have just moved on or been immediately
no
converted into
proof they
remnants.
possess,
Cassidy
like you
only
said.
really appears in Ultimate Custom Night, so either their spirit is attached to Afton's
she could
like
never pass
Andrews
on.
is in the Fazbear Fright series, or it's just William
I
Fortune
literally
himself
have
over
that
the
book right
memory of
next
this
to me.
one child that he murdered in cold blood. Long story short, I still haven't fully worked out the ramifications of all this, and I'd love your help
hard.
working through it because this revelation about the first 4 games being games demands a whole new way of looking at the series. The ripple effects of this revelation are huge and casts even more doubt into stuff that we thought that we knew about the games. I mean, with all the new books and games and revelations that we've had since the release of
DLC
Security Breach,
for,
I've been meaning to do a state
Security
of the
Breach
lore
is coming
video
out
for a
next year.
while, just to make sure that we're all operating on the
be a
same
lot
page
more
of what
lore.
is true and what isn't true. Because at this point, it's hard for even me to keep track of what we
You're a
prove, what's
FNAF
only
god, not
speculation,
expert. You
all
are
of that.
god.
And after episodes like today, that sort of video feels more important than ever. So keep an eye out for that one in the next couple of weeks, which means that I'm back to researching FNAF from square
my
one.
God.
And I thought we were done with the scary season. But
You're not.
hey, at least while I'm pulling my remind.
Okay, we get it. Stop self-promoting.
Unless I decide to
Okay, go.
date
Wait,
ins
I
and
need
outs
to hear him say that.
theory forever. But hey, that's just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. And hey, if you want to go back to a time when we thought
Oh my god. Bro, that was so good. But, so Golden Freddy could not be real. Most of FNAF could be just myth or whatever. I probably said that wrong, but whatever. That was good. Good job, MattPat. Good job. Okay, and in honor of MattPat, I have to say this line. Music Man! Sorry for your headphone user. Sorry, headphone users, but whatever. And anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video. If you did to this point, make sure to like, subscribe, share, and turn on the notifications and maybe comment. I don't know, your choice. But either way, thanks for watching and have a good day. Bye!